Hi, I'm Jamie Catania of Shovel the Sidewalk. We're a marketing firm in Buffalo, New York, building brands and creating advertising for small businesses. And we utilize the power of authentic storytelling. That's why we created Sidewalk Talk. It's a way for business owners, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs to share stories of inspiration, motivation, and education. And on today's episode, I have the owner of Soul Man, Brian Gavigan, on our episode. How's it going, Brian?
Everything is great. Everything is great, Jamie. Thank you.
Great to have you on the show. I appreciate you taking the time. We're all about storytelling. So with what you do, it's a form of artistry that maybe a lot of people don't know about. So I just want you to take the opportunity to share your story on how you created Soul Man and what it's all about.
Thank you. It is an artistry, I guess. I think, it takes on a bit of an old school trade. And I think as of late in the last, I would say, a decade, the industry has become more of an artistry. I don't think that, 50 years ago, people would look at a cobbler as being an artist. It was a guy who was working behind in the shop, somewhat of a sweatshop, and hammering away shoes. And but now it's kind of gotten into a little bit different of a level. There's even competitions worldwide that who's the best cobbler out there, and it's fine tuning, and it's you get shoes in that might be $500, $800 pair of shoes. You're not cobbling. You're working on a work of art itself that you have to repair and get it back to its original state, or do your best to. And I take pride in every repair, big or small, and it goes on beyond shoes. You're working with leather, and I think, that is an artistry of its own, whether it be, making shoes or bracelets or working on bags, making bags. Today's cobbler has to do more than just working on shoes. I think, we kind of expand our offerings, and still, by keeping up the integrity of the shoe market. And that knowledge is getting out. I think people more and more, especially today, what I've seen since I've opened less than 5 years ago now, that you get young kids coming in, they want to know what a cobbler is. What, I didn't know this is possible. I didn't know this existed. I didn't know, I can fix my favorite pair of boots or shoes or what have you. And I think people are starting to look more into quality items instead of throwing good money after bad. And they want to preserve and protect those items that they put a little extra money into. And, so I think this generation, I think, is ripe for kind of relearning of what this offering by, cobblers is. Because I think it was just on the brink of extinction there for a while. And I'm very proud to have kind of brought it back a little bit to the forefront, at least in Buffalo.
It's awesome that it's on the come up again and people are appreciating, again, the artistry behind it. How did you first get into this?
Well, I was in marketing and advertising for 17 years. I started up my own business shortly out of college. And I just kind of got burned out of that, right? Sitting at a computer. And I was always good with my hands. I was always creative. I had always, I loved making old things new again. And I kind of went through those moments, I think, that we all do at some point. Maybe you call it a midlife crisis, what have you. I mean, I was in my early 40s at the time. And, I just knew I needed something different, and we created a lifestyle and, a wonderful lifestyle, 3 children, a wife. But it just wasn't, I just couldn't continue doing what I was doing. And what made me tick as a kid, I kind of went into my own little state of reflection, and I came out of it with a new understanding of what I needed, and what I needed was working with my hands again, and being creative, and putting in a hard day's work that, I knew nothing about the trade, by the way. I had never stepped foot into a cobbler shop until June of 2015. And that was the day that I offered to buy the guy's business. And so that was an interesting conversation with my wife, but actually a great conversation, by the way. She asked, what do you plan on doing? She said, I'm going to become a cobbler. And she asked, what is a cobbler? Very similar questions that you're asking now, right? But that's the reality. And I didn't really know I just knew it was an old trade, and it was making something old new again. And I knew I was good with my hands, and I knew I like to work hard and be passionate about what I'm doing. And I love customer interaction, and I love essentially customer service, right? But which makes this whole time tough, but that's all part of it. And I when I opened the shop, didn't realize how much I was going to be a force, really, in the trade. And so I delved into something that was inherently in me, I think, and it has blossomed quickly for me because of it. And it's been extremely rewarding, for sure.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm highly impressed that you didn't have like somebody in the family or a friend that was into it, and you just kind of jumped right into it. And that's like a perfect example of, if you really want to learn something, you just put the time into it.
Listen, you put the time into it. One of the things I like to say sometimes, depending on the situation, not necessarily when you're a kid, but when you're at that point, you put all your eggs in one basket and you watch the basket. I knew that it was going to be a real leap of faith, and not knowing really if the trade was really worth anything in 15 years, 10 years. It was already a dying trade. But again, just like making shoes old new again, right? I was taking an old trade, and making it new again, which was that much more enticing to me. I was up for the challenge to say, you know what, I'm going to resurrect this, because this is, and not knowing how ripe of a time it was when people are throwing good money after bad, and the recycling atmosphere of where we're at today in society. And people are more conscious about the green theme, and this is right up that alley. And I didn't get into it for that, really. Had nothing to do with that. But I'm happy to be a part of it, but I put all my eggs in one basket, and I watched that basket closely, and I day and night, every waking hour, dreamt about it, read on it, videos, you name it. I mean, just constantly getting myself prepped to pull the trigger, I guess, and feel confident enough to actually, put an open sign up.
What are some of the challenges? I mean, being an entrepreneur, doesn't matter what sort of, business you have, this doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So I always ask people, like, what are some of like the biggest challenges that you faced as like an entrepreneur, and like how you overcame them?
I think the biggest challenge in many cases is yourself. It's maybe self-doubt, is it taking that leap and saying, we're going to do it. And this is, once you're all in, and you've put yourself there, then you have no more excuses. You just do it. And everyone has their own lane that they stay in of what they're comfortable doing, right? Which could work for them. Everyone's different. And in my way, once I knew this is the direction I wanted to go, I just became excited about it, and I knew I could do it. And from there, it was every waking hour, just really kind of dreaming about how I envisioned it, how I want to change the trade, I don't want an old stodgy shoe repair shop. I want, a handsome haberdashery, and You know, offering actual, you know, good shoes, selling leather coats. And these are all items that might be vintage or new, doesn't matter, but they're all good quality. You know, people are into, you know, treasure hunting at, you know, Goodwill and Salvation Army. Well, so do I. I've always loved doing that. And, you know, and I have a bit of a knack for it. So I do that stuff locally and online, and I'm just going to bring all that into it. So you envision something that's different and unique. And once you get that tingle going, this has got legs. This could work, you know, and which every entrepreneur has that moment. The only thing that's really preventing you from doing it then is yourself. All right, do I have, you know, the chutzpah to make this happen? And I've done it a couple times in my life, you know, a few times really, but and every time is the same. And you build up that energy with all the thoughts that you garner with the idea of what you want to start, and you continue to build that energy inside till you are so excited to get that door open because you know it's going to work. That's been my experience. Okay. And it's not everybody's. Some people have, you know, and there's a lot. I mean, I thought there was a lot to this. I mean, it's learning you know, an age old trade, and, you know, it's not looking at, you know, your refrigerator and seeing that, you know, well, you know what I mean, you're looking at 100-year-old pieces of equipment that you've never seen before. You don't know how to, if something breaks, what do you do? So there was a huge learning curve. But I think in all endeavors, there's huge learning curves. You know, an entrepreneur doesn't always have to get into what they're passionate about. It doesn't have to be that. Maybe the passion is creating something that is new. Maybe that's the passion. And let's say it's tuxedos. You know, are you passionate about tuxedos? Well, no, but, you know, all of a sudden we have Tuxedo Junction, right? I mean, started off in a little hut off to the side and selling tuxedos or renting tuxedos. You know what I mean? So Xerox equipment. I mean, you talk about anything. Do you have to have a passion for that thing? Did I have a passion for shoes? Not really. I like them. I like shoes. But did I have this appetite for, is my shoe closet, you know, like my wife's? No. But I had a passion for the trade, for the old school element, for working with my hands, to making something old new again. It just presented itself in shoes, right? So it's different for everybody. But once you wrap your head around the direction that you want to go, put all your eggs in one basket and make it work. Now, I wouldn't say that for young kids, because they have to, you know, they still have to fall on their face. They still have to, you know, get up and wipe the dust off and learn and have those good experiences and tough experiences and be exposed to as much as they can. You know, but when you're at a point when you think you're ready, you know, be ready and commit.
I love it, because it all comes down to mindset. It's a constant battle, you know, with yourself.
Yeah.
Can I do this? Should I do this?
Yeah.
But like you said, when you feel, it kind of defies logic. It's something that you feel. I'm happy that you found, you know, what you enjoy. I love how you brought up, you know, the trade itself is fixing something that was old, bringing it new. And then you came into this, bringing it back. So it ties together again with the artistry.
Right.
With everything going on right now, you know, at the time of this recording, we're going through the COVID-19 pandemic, affecting a lot of small business, every small business. And, you know, for you, Brian, I was just curious, you know, for those listening, for those watching, what will you be doing, you know, within the shop, you know, when the time is right? What would be different, you know, after this time?
Well, I what will be different? There's going to be a lot of things different. I have a feeling. I want to preserve. Everyone's walking in their own space these days. And it's a delicate balance to know what's right, what's wrong, what you should be doing, what you have to be doing. You know, at any one time I may have, 3 people in the shop. On a Saturday there might be more. But we're not bumping in at the checkout counter with other people. You know what I mean? It's one of those stop-in shops. Yeah, people, do get, it's a small shop, so it can get a little claustrophobic if there's a ton of people, but we have to all be in our own lane, doing what we feel is safe, right? The space that I have here to be shut down is a little upsetting for any small business, that you have maybe a few people come in and out throughout the at any one point in time, and yet you can go into your grocery store and have 300 people crowding you, reaching over your shoulder for some bananas, whatever. But yet that's okay. And are there measures, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's a balance. It's about understanding your customers and respecting whatever position that they are coming to you for. They do want to see you take measures. Am I going to go to the measures of putting up plexiglass all the way straight? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not set up for that. There's no way for me to even do it. I'm sure there is, but I'm going to have my mask on. I'm going to have, the hand sanitizers and a pump spray, which I have now, obviously, and gloves. And if people call to let me know they're picking up their stuff and they don't feel comfortable coming, of course, I'm going to do a curbside drop off for them. Am I going to make I'm a customer service oriented business owner. My customers are extremely important to me, and I take their concerns as priority one. So, but am I going to blanket it for everybody, coming through my door? I don't want my space, this old world kind of space, to have that lack of connection, and by putting up plexiglass, I think it's just, and in some spaces, yeah, it's fine. Here, it's not, and I'm just going to be honest. But yes, the precautions that I will take to respect every customer walking in here, no matter how far they are on that pendulum with, no, I'm not walking around the street, let alone walking into shops. I get it. Everyone's got to do their thing, man, but life doesn't end. Life isn't ending. Go out, live your life, and, and enjoy, what we have. I think there's been a lot of fear that's been put into people, and, and I think that's going to take some time for us to recover from that. And with that said, because of that, I obviously will take the precautions that I find necessary to make it easier to come here, like I said, with the pump sprays and whatnot. But everyone's got to be in their own lane, man, and do their thing. I'm here to work. I'm here to be great to my customers and offer, good shoe repair, the best in Buffalo, by far. And I look forward to getting things back, man, back to where it was. And it's been tough. It's been 2.5 months, that's tough for any business owner, small business owner to handle. And, it's one of those things that we all have to manage, and we get through it. And my motto, to my family is, listen, everything's fine. We're not going to starve to death. That's where my baseline is, right? So to me, everything is good. And it's funny, in the last 2.5 months, $50 in a day was exciting. I was here. Should I have been? I don't know. I've been here to clean my shop, reorganize, get things ready for hitting the ground running when we come back and open the whole thing. So I've been here like 4 hours a day, about 4 days a week. I wouldn't turn the open sign on, but I would leave the door open. Again, just, if somebody comes in and if they feel comfortable coming here, then I'm comfortable working for them and doing what they need me to do. So, but yeah, there was like $50 a week, or $50 a day. I mean, I was like, hooting and hollering. It was like my first $50 I ever made. I felt like a true entrepreneur again. You know what I mean? Like, all right, business is, kind of moving here. Like it was, but it's the simple things, that really kind of put it in perspective for you. And it sure has, like 2.5 months into this, it's put things in perspective.
I think with everything going on too, it's just the positive is it's made people stronger, and it has shown that you're able to adapt to anything. I mean, that's what it's all about with being an entrepreneur, being able to adapt while serving the customers. And at the end of the day, it's good communication. As you said, if somebody reaches out and they feel comfortable with the curbside pickup, you're ready to do it. It's all about just making sure
it's adapting, to put in, these things are put into place for everybody to toe the line. And so there's a benchmark of what we're supposed to be doing. I believe in the people. I believe in people knowing what they're doing. Now, I'm always going to wear the mask. I'm always going to have my scarf over my face, no matter if somebody's walking in without one. I'll have that because that's what I believe should happen at this time. That's where we should be. Do I think that we need to do some of these steps that I think listen, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. I know what lane I'm in. You know what I mean? I don't know. All I know is that it's a strange time, and but we'll all get through it. Hopefully better off than before even.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brian, we're going to wrap this up. What is the best way for somebody to reach out to you? They're looking to either, have the conversation with you about whatever they need, or just to stop in.
To stop in, call my shop number is 836-6464. I can be found on Instagram and on Facebook, Soulman Buffalo on both. And my website's a little, dicey. It's not really, there's not much there. It's like my favorite bumper sticker was Elvis didn't need a website. Here I am in marketing and advertising in my previous life, right? But, I don't seem to have a website. But either way, call the shop and or stop in. Obviously, my hours are starting, I think, next week are going to be back to normal. I think I officially opened on Monday, but, Monday comes, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's still one person coming in, and I'm enjoying the time that I have with my family right now. But officially, whatever Monday is, the date, I wish I can give it to you. I don't know, but I'll be regular hours, and rain or shine, I'll be here. And customers, no customers, I'll be here, and getting things in order.
Brian, thanks again for being on the show. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. And again, thanks for reaching out, and best of luck to you.
Appreciate it. If you have a story to share, feel free to reach out by going to shovelthesidewalk.com. You can actually stream all of our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Brian, thanks again for being on the show. And until
Anytime.
next time.
And maybe we'll see you at the shop before long, Jamie. Thank you.
Absolutely. And this has been Sidewalk Talk.